let's crochet and knit everything with blue yarn. Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, so let's talk about the yarn we are going to be using. All right, so we have Knit Picks / We Crochet Brava bulky weight yarn, and this is 100% premium acrylic. I used this yarn to make a knitted cardigan one time, and it is fantastic. I have 3 balls left over, so I will be using this. All right, also I have a half skein here. This is the I Love This Yarn metallic in the color royal, so it's a very pretty color. Love that. I also have some cotton yarn, and this is Crafter's Secret Cotton, and the colorway is 15 Periwinkle. So I've always thought of periwinkle as more of a purple, but it's actually more of a blue maybe. I don't know, but this is definitely like a light, like a sky blue. And last but certainly not least, we have I Love This Yarn, and this colorway is 80 Royal, and it is 100% acrylic. So this is all the yarn that I am going to be using. I'm very excited about it, and yeah, let me know, do you like the color blue? I would love to know, is it your favorite color? But anyway, so let's go ahead and get started on a project. All right, so our first project is going to be the Flaunt It Cowl, designed by Susan Ashcroft of Stitch Nerd. And this is a free pattern that calls for bulky weight yarn. And it comes in one size, but you can adjust it as you like. So the yarn that I'm using is going to be the Knit Picks Brava Worsted, or Brava Bulky. So I'm going to be using this yarn. And this is, as I mentioned before, 100% premium acrylic. So each ball has 136 yards, 100 grams, and yeah, this is a bulky number 5. The colorway is Solstice Heather. And so I'm going to be using, well, the recommended knitting needle size is a 7mm. However, I don't have a 7mm, so I am going to be using a US 11 8mm. And I think my dog just moved my camera. Now he's sitting over there like he didn't do anything. But anyway, yeah, so, but I am going to be using a US 11, which is an 8mm. I have made this cowl before. I used an 8mm for it, and it turned out just fine. So you will need to know how to do a few skills. You'll need to know how to knit, purl, slip 2 stitches, and purl 2 stitches together. And so I did make a few changes when I made this for the first time, and I'm going to incorporate those changes into this cowl as well. So for the cast on, instead of using the cable cast on, I'm just going to do a regular long tail cast on. And also for the bind off, instead of using the recommended knitting needle size bind off, I am going to go up a knitting needle size. All right, so let's talk about what I am wearing. This is the Penelope Dress, designed by Ashley Kaiser of Sorella, and it's beautiful. I made an entire video all about this dress. If you want to check it out, I'll leave my Ravelry link below, which will have my video link in it as well. So all right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this knitting project. And yeah, I'll catch up with you all a little bit later. It has been 6 days and I have finished my cowl. Here it is. And I did use 2 of the 3 skeins. So I do have 1 skein left. And with this skein, I want to make a different accessory. So this yarn was left over from a cardigan that I made my grandma. It was the home cardigan, I do believe. And she loved it. And I thought it would be nice if she had some accessories to go with it as well. So we have this cowl here, which is beautiful. Now it's very like, I don't know, scrunched up. Is that a word? Because of the ribbon. So it will stretch out a lot more. Look at that. It definitely stretches out a lot more. She's quite petite, so she probably could either wear, like she could even wear it over her shoulders. So yeah, I really like how this came out. Now I did make a few changes. I didn't do any of the decreases in the cowl. I just made it one size from top to bottom. So I did do that. And also for the bind off, I went up a needle size. I went up to a US 13 9mm needle. So yes, it's really nice. Let me put it on. Maybe it won't clash with my yellow so much. But here it is. This is going to keep her nice and warm. And so, yeah, I love it. The blue and the yellow remind me of my high school, my high school colors. But anyway, I think she is going to love this. So, yeah, I am excited to give this to her. I will be using this other skein. I'm thinking a hat would be nice, but we'll show that a little bit later on in the video. I still have to figure out what exactly I'm going to do with this skein, but I'm thinking it might be a hat, so stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about our second project. Now, this is going to be the Heart of a Rockstar cowl designed by Rachie Nguyen. So this is a paid pattern, and it calls for worsted weight yarn. So we're switching from knitting to crochet, and this comes in one size, but it is very customizable. This is one of my favorite crochet cowl patterns. I've made it in many different sizes, so I love it. The yarn that I'm going to be using is, I love this yarn, and it is in the colorway 80 Royal. So it's a really nice royal blue color, and this is 100% acrylic. It is super soft. And yeah, now let's talk about the hook size. So I will be using an eye hook, which is a 5.5mm crochet hook, and so I'll be using that. And some of the techniques that you will need to know in order to make this cowl includes chain, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. So you will need to know a few basic skills there. And yeah, so this cowl, like I said, is super easily adjustable. You can adjust the height, you can adjust the width. You can make it a cowl, an infinity scarf, even ear warmers if you want to. You can make it with so many different sizes using the same pattern, and I love that. Okay, so let's talk about what I am wearing. I am wearing the Tiki top designed by Designs by Key. So I did an entire video about this top, and I will link my Ravelry page below where I have the video link. So definitely check that out. This was a pleasure to make. I did do a few modifications, especially on the sleeve. So I did do some changes there. But yay, I love it. It's so bright, and I really do enjoy wearing it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this cowl, and I'll catch up with you all a little bit later. days later and I have finished my cowl. Here it is. I love it so much. It is so soft and I love the stitch definition and the fabric that it's making. Let me try it on for you. It is quite warm today, but I will try it on. Here it is. Gorgeous. Love it. It is going to keep me so warm this fall and winter, so I love it. It is so pretty, and I think it goes nice with this grayish blue as well, and I'll talk about what I'm wearing a little bit later. So let me go ahead and take this off, but I love the results. I have made this cowl several times. I probably at least 4 or 5 times. It is definitely one of my go-to patterns if I want to crochet a cowl. All right, so let's talk about our third project. Now this project is going to be the Koda's crochet bucket hat designed by me. So I am really looking forward to releasing this pattern. In fact, by the time this video comes out, the pattern will be released on Ravelry and Etsy. So look forward to that. I'll definitely put the link in the description box below. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates on that pattern. But yeah, so I am going to be making this pattern, and I'm thinking it is going to be a paid pattern. I'm thinking about $3 for the pattern. I still haven't decided, but I'm thinking that's what I'm going to charge for it. That seems to be pretty reasonable, but it will be made using worsted weight yarn. And it's going to come in 2 sizes. So the adult small head circumference is going to be 21 inches or 53.3 centimeters. And the adult large head circumference is going to be 23 inches or 58.4 centimeters. I want to share the yarn that I'm going to use to make this hat. This is Crafter's Secret Cotton. And this is 100% cotton, and this is the colorway 15 Periwinkle. And I have 2 of these, so you'll need about 160 yards to make it. I always tend to have a little bit of yarn left over because these are 120 yards per ball or 109 meters. So those are what I'm using. Also, I'm going to be using a US 8 5mm crochet hook for the adult small. If you want to do the adult large, you can use a USI, which is a 9, and that's a 5.5mm crochet hook. So you do have some options there. And the techniques you will need in order to make this bucket hat include magic ring, chain, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet increase, and half double crochet increase. So those are a lot of skills, but it's not a difficult pattern, not at all. And the hat can be worn year round. If you want to make more of a spring, summer, warmer weather type of hat, you can use cotton yarn. Also, you could use wool because it's moisture wicking, but you can definitely use cotton yarn for those warmer months. But if you want to make this bucket hat for the cooler months, you can go with a wool or acrylic yarn. So you definitely have some options there. All right, let me share with you all what I am wearing. So I've kind of been switching between knitted projects and crochet projects to wear. And today I am wearing the Brightbay sweater t-shirt designed by Ashley Lillis. And like I said, this is a knitted t-shirt. And I love it. It's a wonderful shirt. It's made out of some of my hand-dyed yarn, QueensYarnBoutique. So definitely check out my shop. But yeah, so I have made an entire video about this pattern, about this shirt, and I will leave my Ravelry page below where that pattern is linked. All right, so I am going to go ahead and get started on this bucket hat, and I'll catch up with you all a little bit later. next day and I have finished my bucket hat. It only took about a few hours to make, and I ended up making the adult large because I have a lot of hair, so I really wanted to make sure that it would fit. But let me try it on for you. Here it is. I love it. Yes, I can't wait to wear this summer. It's already getting up into the 90s already, but this is the Koda's bucket hat that I designed, and by the time this video comes out, it will be released, and I'll leave the link for you. But the name Koda's bucket hat came from my dog Koda, so I love naming my patterns after the dogs I've had in my life, and he is my puppy, so I named it after him. But check this hat out. I love it. Oh, I love it. It is so cool. And I made it with cotton yarn, which is why I can't wait to wear it in these warmer months. But I have made some in acrylic as well, and I think it would look really good in wool also. So yeah, this is my hat, and I think it turned out fantastic. All right, so let's get on to our fourth project, and it is the Venice Beach Bandana designed by Lucky Penny Craft Co. So this is a paid pattern. It cost me about $6. Now I have made this bandana before, but I paid $6 for the pattern, so I'm definitely going to get my money's worth. All right, so this calls for worsted weight yarn, and the height of this bandana is about 9 inches or 23 centimeters, and that's the width without the stripe or without the strap. And also it is 14 inches. I believe it is 14 inches high, or 36 centimeters. Of course, if you want to know more measurements, I will certainly leave them below. I'll leave the pattern below. All right, so the yarn that I'm going to use is, I love this yarn, metallic, and it is in the colorway 740 Royalty, and this is 100% acrylic. The hook size that I'm going to be using is an H hook, which is a 5mm, and you will need to know a few skills. It's a very simple pattern. You'll need to know how to chain, half double crochet, and single crochet. That's it. Very simple. And I love how sparkly this yarn is. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And speaking of spring and summer, I really do see myself wearing a lot more bandanas. My hair is getting pretty long, so just to kind of keep it out of my face just a little bit and put it back, I think bandanas would be great. Let me know if you wear bandanas. All right, so I did want to share what I am wearing. This is the No Sew Comfort Tee designed by Ashley Rivas of Tiny Couch Crochet. And so it comes in two versions. You have the scoop neck version, which I am wearing, and then you also have a V-neck design as well, which I've also made that one. But anyway, I'm going to leave my Ravelry page below for this top in case you have any questions. And in that Ravelry page, I will have the video link in it where I talk all about this pattern and how great it is. All right, y'all. So I am going to go ahead and get started on my bandana, and I'll catch up with you all a little bit later. next day and I had finished my bandana. Here it is. It took me 53 minutes to make. I did time it because I was very curious as to how long it would take me. So if you're looking for a nice 1-hour project, this bandana is perfect for you. All right, so I'm going to try it on a little bit later, but I want to get into the fourth project that I'm going to be making, and it is the boyfriend hat designed by Andrea Riddle. And you may remember that I had talked about my grandmother. Well, I had made a knitted cardigan for my grandmother, and I wanted to make accessories for the cardigan. Now, earlier I went ahead and I made a cowl, a knitted cowl, and now I'm going to make a knitted hat to go with that. So she'll have all of the accessories to go with her cardigan. A little bit about this pattern. It is a free pattern and it calls for bulky weight yarn. It comes in one size, and that is the adult size. And the yarn that I'm going to be using is the Knit Picks Brava Bulky, and each skein is 136 yards, 100 grams, and this particular color is Solstice Heather. So I'm really looking forward to this, and yeah, this is a number 5 weight yarn. So you will need 2 knitting needle sizes to make this hat. You will need a US 11, which is an 8 millimeter, and a US 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter. The techniques that you will need in order to make this hat include the German twisted cast on, knit, purl, knit 2 together, pass slip stitches over, and the center double decrease. So this hat, it features an easy 3x2 ribbing, and it has a really fun decrease up at the top. So that's really interesting. And I was reading a little bit more into the pattern, and I was trying to figure out if CDD meant center double decrease. I'm assuming that's what it means. So we shall see, right? So I wanted to share what I am wearing. So I am wearing the Tolsta Tee designed by Rebecca Clow, and I have uploaded an entire video on this project, and what I'll do is link my Ravelry page below with the video link in it, and so you all can check out my pattern page. It is a wonderful t-shirt and it feels amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this hat, and I'll check in with you all a little bit later. It is 4 days later and I have finished my grandma's knit hat. So I worked 8 inches and then I did the decrease. And so if you want to make it without a brim, you could probably go to about 7 inches or so, and that'll make it without the brim. But I wanted to make it with the brim. I thought my grandma would look great in a hat with a brim. And it is a fantastic pattern. I really enjoyed making it. I had to reacquaint myself with DPNs because it had been a while. So it turned out really nice. And this is, like I said, this is definitely a hat that I would make again. I would love to have this in several colors. I think this is a great beginner hat or intermediate hat. You know, whatever your level is, I think you can accomplish this hat. So let's review all of the projects that I have made. let's talk about what I am wearing. I am wearing the Summer Breeze Crop 2.0 designed by Designs by Key. And so I have made an entire video about this top, and I will link my Ravelry page below, which has my video link in it as well. So definitely check that out. It is made with cotton, so it's a really great top for today in this warmer weather. So it is really nice to wear. And also, I wanted to let you all know that I am having a 50% off sale on all the yarn in my shop. And my shop is QueensYarnBoutique.com. And if you've already shopped, thank you so much for your support. And yeah, go check it out. I would really, really appreciate it. All right, so let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? I love reading you all's comments, so definitely leave me a comment. I would love to know what's on your mind. And also click that like button, that notification bell, and that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, bye.